the Millionaire Imprint for Women. This empowering radio show is about imprinting wealth for women, inspiring women of all ages to heal their karmic debts, to transcend the shame of poverty consciousness that women have lived with for centuries. It's time for women, for you to have a new relationship with money, to be smart with your money, to invest, to save, and to watch your money grow as you build your new empire, leaving legacies that you're proud of. Join Marty, Michelle, and Kornelia Fridays from 1 to 2 on the Kornelia Stephanie Show at Transformation Talk Radio. Are you in?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, the Millionaire Imprint for Women. I'm super excited to host today's show for many reasons. One, I just finished a show that I did with Kornelia Springer on the Living Heaven on Earth show. And if you didn't listen to that show, please go look at my website at korneliastephanie.com. That podcast that we just did, we talked a lot about money there. And literally, we could have actually just taken that entire podcast and brought it here. So there's a lot of tips, a lot of story that was shared about our own personal journeys, about how we've transcended some of the energy around lack consciousness, the work that we're both doing in the world to assist other people to shift their vibrational energy with around money and lack. And so there's so many people right now that are facing changes in the world with the government and all kinds of different things that are happening for people in their lives. And so I created the Millionaire Imprint. When was that? That the launch of the show was back in September. And the first series of the women that I brought on were Momo, Samantha, Susan, and myself. And we talked a lot about healing the karmic wounds, the shame that we've had around our money for centuries. So not just us as individuals, but also our ancestors, right? Because really, that is the energy that we're clearing and releasing and letting go, because that was the story that we were born into. Many of us have stories of lack, of poverty, of not good enough, not worthy, as our old footprint. And that is what actually needs to be changed and shifted so that you can tell a new story and that you can deem yourself worthy, that you can deem yourself wealthy, that you can go from rags to riches. So today's show is really about going from rags to riches, because it doesn't matter where you are in your life and what stage you are in, beginning, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working out in the system and you're looking at increasing your abundance and you're looking at increasing your wealth. The bottom line, what it comes down to, is how to go from nothing to everything. And the way that we do that is we really have to be able to feel spiritually rich. We have to be able to see the abundance that's all around us, abundance in everything, abundance in air, abundance in gratitude, abundance in prosperity, in friendship, abundance in beauty, abundance in food, abundance in love. We have to be able to feel that. And in order to really be able to feel that from the core, we may find ourselves in a place of not having any of that. And that's actually where the gold is. You have to be able to bring your happiness, your wealth, your abundance into the place of the challenge of when you feel like you don't have anything, or when you feel like you don't have enough. That is actually where it begins. You have to be happy without it. That's the root core of going from rags to riches. It's the root core from feeling wealthy from the inside out. Because truly, money can be gone overnight. Anything could happen. But feeling wealthy from the inside out, knowing and experiencing the abundance in all areas of your life is something that you're always going to be able to take with you, no matter what happens on the outside world. And that's how you want to begin your day. That's how you want to begin your now. That's how you want to begin your 2019. And actually, that is the integrity. It is the integrity of the new spiritual human. It is the integrity of our evolving consciousness that lack and poverty just doesn't resonate. It doesn't offer us the integrity of who we are, because we are abundant in so many ways. And when we can align with that, that is truly when we are living in our integrity. And it's not okay anymore to be awake and aware and not experience the ultimate riches, the ultimate abundance that continuously is the evidence in the universe and also within us. So the Millionaire Imprint, when I created that, it is changing lives. So many women are being empowered by the co-hosts and by the stories that are being shared, by the techniques. We have Marty Rogers now that is, assisting people with the financial independent number. We have Michelle Boss that is bringing her gifts with her blueprints, aka Michelle Boss, the money boss. And then I'm here to bring my own unique piece, and that is to really shift your relationship with money, build your foundation on a foundation that's rooted in wealth. And my story too is I had so much shame around money when when I was going through my own process, because where I was born and where I came from, I was born in Germany, and my mother was a single mother, and she had no support from my father, who was absent financially and emotionally. And it was really hard on her to be able to raise, three children with not having the support that she needed. So that is the energy that I grew up in. We were always looking for money. There were many days where we couldn't eat, and it was really, really hard to make ends meet. So this was the story that I had to transcend and overcome and change in my own life. And even though I wasn't taught or educated on what to do with money, neither was my mother, and neither was probably your mother. If you're listening to this, you could probably identify with this story. So many of us have had stories like this, and it's our turn now to write a new story and tell a new story, and be able to move into right integrity and imprint success into our subconscious now with the new story that we want to tell around money. Um, you get to decide. You get to decide how you want to live. So whether you want to be a millionaire, or whether you want to be um, earning a seven-figure income or a six-figure income, you get to decide. But whatever challenge you're finding yourself in, it is in the chaos, in the disaster, moment to moment, you get to transcend that energy and bring the riches, the truth of the abundance, the infinite abundance that is always right there, always waiting to be acknowledged. The gratitude, the love, the abundance, the feeling rich from the inside out. So, what got me started on this path? I was just working with a woman yesterday, and she was telling me that she was saying that she wishes that we lived in a cashless society. And I said, why do you wish that? And she says, well, because it's just, it just would just seem so much easier. We could just offer our gifts, and it would just be so much easier if we lived in a cashless society, and everybody could just give their gifts and share their gifts, and we could just give. Well, in a sense, that would be great. But the truth of the matter is that we have money on this planet, and on a collective level, when I tune into the inner council and look at and ask, where we are collectively with money, what I get is that money is going to be around for a long time. Money is going to be around for a long time. We as a collective, we get to decide how long money is going to be around on this planet, and what it is. When is it that we're going to move to a cashless society? We're not there yet. Right now, what our job is to heal our relationship with money, and you get to decide and you get to choose what blueprint, what footprint that you want to live. So that with that comes a lot of responsibility. But I can tell you one thing, that many of us have already and are changing our trajectory, and we are building our new earth in ways that are powerful, abundant, and prosperous. And there's so many tools, there's so many techniques, there's so much help out there for you, that it's just a matter of you deciding what kind of relationship you want to have, how you want to live your life, and how you want to set up your life. That really is what it comes down to, is you deciding and you choosing to. I have a guest that I'm going to bring on later in just a little bit. She's going to be calling in. She's one of the women that has benefited from the Millionaire Imprint for Women shows that she's been listening to over the last few months. And I asked her to come on and share her story about where she began. That was just a few short months ago, and share that with us. So I'll be bringing her on in a little bit. But again, I just want to talk about, if you're finding yourself in a state right now, where you might be working at a job that is sucking the life force out of you, and that's not really bringing you passion and not really bringing you joy. I can relate to that, because that's exactly where I was at too. I was in a place where I just felt like a slave, and that's when I began really doing that soul searching. My soul was asking me, do I want to live like this for the rest of my life? Do I want to continue on chasing that hamster wheel? And that is when I said, no, I don't. And at the time when I was in the discovery of all of that, I didn't even know what values were, or what my core values were. I had no idea, because I felt like a robot. I felt like a robot, where I was, working a job and living beyond my means, up in credit card debt, and not really conscious and aware of what my values are, how I want to live, that I actually had the power to be able to choose and, um, you know, live my life the way that I want to live it. None of these things even occurred to me. So it was just a really interesting journey. And throughout that journey, through that discovery, I decided that I don't want to be a slave in the system. And that is when I left the corporate world, when I left the matrix, and started on a journey to really listen to what my inner guidance was saying. I always wanted to be a speaker. I always wanted to be a motivational speaker and help people. And so that's how I began that. And I over the last past let's see, it's 8 years, 12 years now, I have been on this journey. And I tell you what, it has been a hard journey, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And so it has been such an incredible time, and very challenging, but well worth it. And again, going from nothing to everything, um, that is the reward. That has been the reward. Many of us going through the eye of the needle, and in order to get to the other side, we have to go through it, and it's all part of the process. So thank you so much for listening and tuning into the Kornelia Stephanie Show. We're going to take a break on the Millionaire Imprint for Women, and we'll be right back.
My name's Bob Skeel. I'm 91 years old, and I want to take a few minutes now to share with you the important role, actually the critical role, Kornelia has played in my life. I say critical because I'm not sure I'd be alive at all to the many possibilities that make up our human experience at my age, if not for her. I could have easily become another dead man walking, only half conscious, stumbling through my remaining years, if it hadn't been for Kornelia. 6 years ago, I lost my wife to Alzheimer's. We'd been married for 61 years. I never thought I'd be a widower, but there I was, suddenly lost and alone, but with the good sense to set a working goal for myself. I was going to spend the rest of my life committed to unconditional love, whatever that meant and wherever that took me. A year or so later, Kornelia came along, helping me over several years to focus that unconditional love where it had never been focused before, on me. My whole life, my entire being had been focused on love of neighbor, and I had derived great satisfaction from that. But in the process, I had ignored the second part. I love your neighbor as yourself. Now it was time to direct that love inward. I didn't see that right away, but Kornelia did, and she drew me there. She drew me actually to God. Through many conversations over coffee and after numerous, sometimes tearful, agonizing discussions, Kornelia was able to lead me, kicking and screaming, to within where I needed to be. It was there finally that I was able to re-identify myself. It was in bringing unconditional love to myself that I now saw myself in a new light, a fully conscious, worthy human being, capable of healing, loving, and creating in my own right all these gifts of the evolutionary process. I'm a new man now, younger as I get older. I don't move as fast as I once did, of course, but my smile is quicker and I engage the heart and mind of others more readily. I would likely not be at such a wonderful stage in my life if not for Kornelia. I owe my new life to her, a wonderful friend and a constant source of inspiration. Thank you, Kornelia.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Millionaire Imprint for Women. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. We were talking before we went to break about a little bit about my story, about how I've come to create the Millionaire Imprint for Women, and also the lives that are being changed by this show with the tools and the techniques and the stories that are being shared. One of the things that I have learned around being in the situation of transcending the lack consciousness, the poverty consciousness, whatever situation I found myself in, is that the key to the riches, the key to being rich, the key to being wealthy is that you have to be able to bring your vibration, match your vibration in a state of abundance. You have to feel so rich and overflow with this incredible amount of gratitude and abundance, and realizing that in your consciousness, in your being, in your emotions, the frequency, the vibration that you're emitting, that state has to be a continuous energy. It has to be a continuous energy. And that really is living, being in a state of riches, being in a state of riches. And this is the state that you can take with you wherever you go. And that's actually the place where it all begins. Because we know that in the blink of an eye, everything could be different, everything could be gone. But if you know how to do this work and you know how to bring yourself into a state of vibration with what it is that you're desiring, with what it is that you want, when you can continuously do that in the face of the challenge, because that's really where the work is being able to do it in the challenge, when you're in the challenge, and to be able to see the abundance that is there for you, that you are. Releasing the lack is the work. Letting go of what's no longer serving you. Working on changing your relationship with money, changing your story, choosing and deciding what it is that you want to do now. How do you want to set up your life? How do you want to live? Having all the tools and the techniques that are already there for you to support you in this collaboration as you're building your new earth, your kingdom, your world according to you. That's what the Millionaire Imprint is about. It's happening on the inside of you. And all of these shows are here to give permission, if you will, that it's already being done and it's happening, and that this year of 2019 is truly the birth of the millionaire generation for women and for all people, that we get to choose and decide. You know, how in the old world we had so much shame around money, this love hate, this push pull, and it's really not, that's really not a relationship that you want to have. It's not in vibrational integrity. Every time when you're in a state of lack, you know, cast that burden of lack onto the Christ within, release that energy and let that go, and move right away again into a state of abundance. See the abundance that's there for you. See the abundance that you are. Look for the evidence of the amazing relationships, or wherever you could start building and generating that inner feel good. That's really the secret, and everything else will match up your vibration. So I was when we first started, I was telling you all about a guest that I have on today, and she is like one of our living testimonials that's calling it today for the Millionaire Imprint, has followed the show and sent me a testimonial recently. And I want to read this to you all and what she said, because I really love this. She said, I was so stressed out about my future and my finances that I couldn't even reply to set a date with you. I feel so much better. Thank you for your radio movement on all that you are doing to empower women. My back just got straighter, as I'm confident the next steps that I will take will lead me to great places. I was listening to Friday's show, and I'm really integrating being a human being instead of a human doing as part of my full moon intention. And so here she is, so thankful for these messages on the Millionaire Imprint. And she's here today that she's going to share with us her incredible journey of where she was a few months ago and where she is now. Hi, Amber. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Cornelia. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so right now, let's tell the audience where you are. You are right now at the airport in California.
Yes, I'm in the San Jose airport. And I am here because of someone I met from one of your guests said, call me, have a free consultation. And she said she could help me, and she's helped me with so many different things. And I'm so thankful. And it was because I was listening to your show that these things came together for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah,
so basically what happened a few months ago, so I think I met you, it was back in October when you and I met. And because I was going to an event in Arizona, and you were also there. And there was a private Facebook group for that event called Dream Big. And I was posting announcement about the Millionaire Imprint to that Facebook group. And this is where you found the Millionaire Imprint. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I started listening in either the middle or the beginning of August. I started listening to your shows then. And I like to listen to podcasts because it was good to hear somebody else's voice speaking in the frequency that I wanted to vibrate with. I was listening to the earlier part of your show, and we really have I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I align myself with where I want to go, and then the universe brings me that place. It's really simple and very powerful at the same time.
Yeah. And at the time, when you were in that space, you were not in a good place, because you were I mean, do you mind sharing a little bit where you were at financially in that place and how you felt?
Yeah. Oh, sure. I had given away all of my power. I letting someone else control my finances and all of the decision making in my life. We would make the decisions together, but at the same time, there was a lot of control and manipulation going on. And part of it was that I had given my power away and let that happen. So to bring it back, I had to acknowledge that it was gone and say, I want it back. And then stand up and start speaking up for myself. But in that space and time, when I first started listening to your show, I felt so lost. I did not know how I was going to get out of the situation that I was in. And I knew that it was going to be a long road there. And this was just a few months ago. And at this time, I feel so whole in myself. I have my power back. I'm starting a new career, and I'm in a much better place.
Yeah, it's incredible that when you said a long road ahead, because the mind always thinks that it's on such an overwhelm that it feels like you don't feel like you can dig your way out, and that it's going to be such a long road. But really, when like you said, you use the word align. When you align, everything lines up to support you and conspire with you to move into right relationship and get you to the place where you want to go. And it doesn't take as long as you even think it's going to take, because truly it was just a few months ago.
Yeah, it really happened pretty fast. And I had help. And one of the hardest things for women sometimes is to open up, ask for help, and actually receive it. And because we're so giving, we're always giving, always doing whatever you want, honey, type of mentality. And then when it comes time for our own time, sometimes we put that off. And that's really the nourishing where we get to ourselves.
Yeah, that's a really good point, that it's been part of the reason why the imbalance has taken place, because women have not been good at asking for what it is that they need. They've not been good at receiving help and receiving support, because it's just in our nature to give. And so that's why part of the Millionaire Imprint for Women is, educating and supporting women to balance the scales and receive, learn how to receive, learn how to ask. So I'm so glad you brought that up. Amber, I would love for you to still stay on and continue on talking with me. I want to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the Kornelia Stephanie Show.
Hello, my name is Charlene Hess, and I want to share with you my wonderful experience of choosing to use Kornelia Stephanie as my life coach. My life is so different now from where it was when I began working with her in 2011. At that time, I was in a dysfunctional marriage. I had my own business. I was raising 2 children and completely dead inside. After working with Kornelia, I began to gain confidence. I began to learn and understand how to use my emotions in my life. I learned how to process the emotions that were stored in my body, the ones that I thought that I had already worked through in my 12 years of counseling prior to working with her. The process that she had taken me through of using my emotions to heal my life, to use my anger to find peace, was absolutely incredible. I have been working with her one-on-one for many years now, and even though I am in a place now where I am thriving in my life, I still refer to Kornelia as my coach, and I still work with her on an ongoing basis where we're always checking in and keeping me accountable in my growth. After working with her for many years, I decided to go through her wholeness certification coaching program, and it has absolutely been an amazing process. I now am a certified empowerment coach, and I got certified through her program, and I am taking clients and helping them to find the empowerment in their lives. One of the things that I love about Kornelia is that she taught me that I am the authority in my own life. And that was a really difficult experience to go through, because it was really fighting against all of the dogma and programming that was so ingrained in my brain that all of the authority is outside of me. But as I began to understand and believe and adopt and know the truth that I am the authority in my life, is when everything in my life started to shift and change. I became responsible for my decisions. I became responsible for creating a life that I love. And now I'm here in this amazing, beautiful place, living a life of so much happiness and joy. And no matter what life throws at me, I have the tools to be able to approach everything from a place of empowerment. And now I have the ability to help other people do the same. So working with Kornelia has absolutely been the best decision that I've ever made in my life. It has taken me from a life of absolute misery and given me the tools to be able to have a life of absolute, complete joy. So I cannot recommend working with her enough. I hope that you decide to choose to have her as your coach. Go through her empowerment coaching program, go through her wholeness certification, and I guarantee you won't regret it.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaire Imprint for Women. I'm Kornelia Stephanie. I'm talking with Amber. She's one of our amazing testimonials that has benefited immensely from listening to the Millionaire Imprint for Women, and has also taken some of our coaches that have come on their support and their techniques up on taking them up on some of their benefits that they're offering. And so Marty Rogers was one of the women that you phoned, Amber, and she really assisted you with cleaning up your financial history. And through that experience, not only did you do that, but you also started a new career.
Yes, that's right. She's training me, and I just passed my exam for health and disability insurance, life and disability insurance exam. So it's really exciting. I love numbers, and I was already studying accounting, so it's right in line with what I want to do. And I'm smart. I can do it. I've been looking for something to help me fulfill the potential that I have. And I was looking, and I'm like, working a minimum wage job is just so, I mean, I'm not insulting anyone. We need everybody to do what they do. I'm appreciative, but for me, I had to find the right path. And I'm on it.
Yeah. So
I want to mention. Oh, I want to mention too, but I've also spoken with Susan Glavin. She gave me some really good advice too. And I love your shows, and the Money Boss. She's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's been such a wonderful journey to be with all of these women that have so many gifts and so much to offer, and that it's really changing lives. I mean, I know you're not the only one that has benefited, but you are literally, you took the bull by the horn, because when I met you in Arizona, you were in a place like you were completely overwhelmed. Like you said, you were powerless. You were working a minimum wage job, and you had no control over your finances. And we're now in January, and you have just passed a state exam, which was not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, passed a state exam that you had to study for day in and day out. And you're starting a new career. You're in California now to go to this incredible meeting with your new work, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
It's just amazing to see how far you've come in just such a short amount of time. And it all began with tuning into the shows, clearing your money, relationship, doing all the money clearing that you did, and then taking the hosts up on their offers when they were offering, free coaching calls, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm thinking back to before I even listened to your radio that I knew within myself that I was in a situation that I wanted to change. And I knew that I had more to offer the world. And I wanted to put myself in a position where I can be of more assistance for other people, that I can make my dreams come true. That's where I'm going. I'm going to bring all these beautiful things, just like you do, Kornelia. You really help people, and thank you so much.
Oh, good. And you are also a mother of two, right? You have two young boys?
That's right. That's right.
And so
they're wonderful. I love them so much.
And how old are they?
7 and 9.
7 and 9. So you're the mother of two young boys, and you're supporting them. You're beginning a new career, and you're building a legacy, leaving a legacy for your children, and teaching them on how to change their, build their foundations, right? Because now, I don't know if you caught the show when I first started, but I was talking a little bit about our ancestral lineage, how we didn't get taught on what to do with money, how to save, how to think about money, how to feel, because we were always in survival mode. And, we were coming from this place of lack energy, lack consciousness. And that was the energy that we had to transcend. So when I was talking about my upbringing in Germany with my mother, not having the support that she needed, child support for financially and emotionally, she was the main breadwinner in the family. And, we didn't know anything about money. We were always coming from a place of there's not enough. And the fact that you are now in this place of educating yourself, not only spiritually and coming into right relationship with money on a spiritual sense and that, but you're also working with, the World Financial Group with Marty Rogers, where you've just passed an exam to be able to build a beautiful nest egg for your children.
Yes, that's right. And I do remember that show when you were talking about the ancestors. I do not remember who you were speaking with, but I remember a beautiful practice that you guys introduced, which I did do, is to set up an altar and to imagine. The example was before bed at night, like 5 minutes. Imagine your ancestors getting the food that they needed and the blankets that they needed and the love and nurturing from each other and safety. Imagine them getting what they needed. And I did that. And I just having that change in my thoughts towards my history, it really helped in some ways soothe me too. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that remembrance. The show that we did, that was with Samantha Brown. Samantha Brown brought that.
Oh, yeah.
Samantha Brown. So I just want to let all the listeners know to, if you want to look at any of the past podcasts, you can go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kornelia Stephanie. And all the past podcasts are listed there under the Millionaire Imprint for Women. You can also go to my website at korneliastephanie.com, and the podcasts are all there for the Millionaire Imprint for Women, because literally each show was leading up to the next. Each show was specifically strategized on, leading up to the next. What was up in the collective right now? How do we shift and change that? And then each person, each host, brought their own wisdom, their own story, and their own techniques to the call so that we can help others change their story. And the fact that with you, Amber, that you've taken, literally since October, since the time that I met you, and it's now January, 3 months later, hasn't even really been 3 months. It's so extraordinary that you are in this position right now, and you're going to be meeting Marty here shortly. As soon as you and I get off the call, you're going to go to your hotel room, and then you're going to begin your next phase in your new career, and how wonderful that is. I'm celebrating it because this is exactly what the Imprint was meant to do, to empower and to inspire women to build a new financial legacy and get smart with their money, to change their relationship, to do the magic, do the work, do the inner work, and realize that that they can have an entirely new story. So I just appreciate you, Amber, calling in. And we talked the other day about you, once you get more comfortable with your new job, with your new business, because it's a business now. It's your own business, and you're going to be educating and training women on getting in right relationship with their money, and also using insurance to build a new legacy for yourself. You're going to be educating women to do that and enrolling women. And I would love to bring you back as a guest when you are ready to talk about that.
That would be excellent. Thank you, Kornelia.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Do you have any final words that you would like to share with our audience before I take us to the next break?
Yes, of course I do. I just want to put it out there that if you have a dream that keeps coming to you at night when you're trying to sleep, or throughout the day, you just, what if this is a good idea, and what if blah, 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 you can go for it. Just let yourself believe that it's possible. I believe I've heard some statistic that most people have dreams and they don't fulfill them. It was like 85 or 95% of people. And don't let yourself be the majority. Be the minority and help change the world for the better, because likely your dream is amazing. That'll help other people be all that they can be. And I'm working towards living in the Garden of Eden again and having this be a beautiful world, because it really is. Underneath all of the chaos and the troubles, it is just amazing that we're here. And thank you so much for being you. Thank you, Kornelia.
Oh, thank you so much, Amber, for calling in and for doing this good work, for realizing your dream, and now for rippling this level of consciousness out and showing other people that it's possible, because it's been made possible because you are the example. And really, that's how we're affecting each other. That's how we're affecting change, by us being the examples, by shining that light. I love when you said the living in the Garden of Eden. You know, it's heaven on earth is an inside job. It's a state of consciousness that already exists here on this planet. We don't have to die to go to heaven. We only have to let the old part of ourselves die away so the new part can be born. And the new part is the higher self, the higher part of ourselves that came here to evolve and build the new world, on peace on earth, heaven on earth, for the first time ever in the history of this planet. And that truly is the millionaire. That truly is that consciousness. That truly is that abundance. It's that inner richness that we're going to bring, because we're here to, like you said, live our dreams and experience the peace, the love, the harmony in collaboration, while we are sharing our gifts with the world. So, Amber, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. And have a wonderful time in California. Do stay in contact with us. And I look forward to bringing you on the Millionaire Imprint for Women to soon share about your new beginning and enrolling people into your fabulous new business.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Kornelia. Till next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. So with that, we're going to take a quick break on the Kornelia Stephanie Show, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Janet Hickox, And I want to tell you a little story about a story and how my friend Kornelia Stephanie helped me through to the other end of that story. I have gone from the dark of a story I was telling myself that wasn't true to the light of optimism to see my way out of where I was and to where I want to go. And it all started with her scheduling a session for me to help me reclaim my money or my financial empowerment. Up until that point, I had been telling the story that my business was dying, that my business was not successful anymore. And the more I tried to figure out what was going on, the worse I felt about it. And when I had to get ready to do the session with Kornelia, she asked me to go look at the numbers and where I was through the year to date, and then also to come prepared with a number that I wanted to raise my income to. Well, I was quite comfortable with that part, right? I knew where I wanted to be. What I wasn't comfortable with doing is going and looking up those numbers. But I made myself do it, even though I tried to backpedal my way out of the session. She didn't know that, but I was going to try to get myself out of the session. And I looked up those numbers. And it was incredible that I discovered through that process that my business wasn't dying. In fact, I was doing 12% better than I had the year before. So I was shocked. I was shocked literally at the power of the story that I had been telling for months. But more than that, I was shocked that I had allowed myself to get there. And later in that day when I had my session with Kornelia, she pointed out some very obvious things like, how are you going to get where you want to go if you don't know where you want to go? How are you going to get there if you don't have the goals written out, if you don't have it set up so that you know where you are and where you're going to go? Totally makes sense, right? I had been in business, somebody else's business, as a sales manager for years, and I was a national sales manager. I had awards for sales management. I had business awards because of numbers. And yet when it came to doing my own business, I totally forgot all that I'd ever learned. So by the time Kornelia, working with me in just one session, got me to look deeper at the numbers and where did I want to go, and actually, claiming where I wanted to go, I was filled with a sense of optimism and hope like you can't believe. It was like everything shifted for me. And I am so looking forward to our continued sessions to see how far I can really push myself to get where I've only dreamed of being, where I've never taken the dream and actually brought it into concrete existence. So thank you, Kornelia, for the work that you're doing out there. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see where I go from here.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. You're listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, the Millionaire Imprint for Women. So it's been quite the show today, having Amber on and sharing her journey and sharing her story and sharing a little bit of my story. But before we went to break, I was talking about going and looking at all of the shows from the Millionaire Imprint for Women. There is just some incredible information there. So if this is the first time that you're listening or that you're tuning in, go back to all of those shows and take a look and see. There's so many tools and techniques and tips that were shared, stories that will also assist and help you no matter where you're at right now. Because again, it's all about becoming conscious and choosing and deciding where you want to be, how you want to live your life, what your core values are. And that's really where it begins. And like Amber was saying, she chose and she decided that she wanted to change her financial relationship, and everything started lining up for her. And I decided that I wanted to be authentic in my expression and create a millionaire lifestyle for myself, because I want to live how I want to live. I want to give how I want to give. And I set up the systems in my life in order to support me to do that, as I continuously keep, creating products and services and opportunities for the world that support people, because really that's really what it's all about. I don't think I mentioned yet today the Keeper of the Garden course. That is a 21-day audio e-course that is available for you to assist yourself in rewriting the story of your life every single day for 21 days. It gives you the opportunity to release suppressed emotions. The benefits of that is feeling lighter and feeling healthier, to experience higher levels of gratitude, and again, feel those inner riches so that you can see the abundance that's already there, because that's really where it begins. To take a look at what relationships are triggering you, that create dissonance and disharmony in your life, so that you can transcend that energy. For 21 days, less than 10 minutes a day, it's $1 a day, $21. Purchase one for yourself and purchase one for your family and friends, because peace is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself and the world. Being in a state of calm, being in a state of peace. I was talking yesterday to a person who was saying, I just want peace. I just want peace. And if you yourself are in that place where you just want peace, you can do this from the comfort of your own home. And it's a wonderful way, because I did the audio recording. There's text there. There's an emotional processing technique. There's an anger management technique. And there's so many benefits to bring your physical body into a higher vibrational way of living and being. My goal is to sell 1 million copies of this course and donate $1 million to our favorite children's charity, so that peace can be spread throughout all of the world where there seems to be chaos, and really empower everyone with choice, with freedom, with the freedom to choose, because we all have that. And so there's just so many wonderful benefits that this Keeper of the Garden is going to give you, and it's a lifetime thing, because everything happens in layers. You do the course one time, and then you can come back and do it again and again. You can go to my website at KorneliaStephanie.com. There's a tab that says Keeper of the Garden. You can purchase it right there. And you can even listen to day one of what it would sound like if you did day one. From the comfort of your own home. It's private, it's intimate, it's quiet, it's journaling, it's really leaning into your inner support system, into your inner guidance system, so that you can create and rewrite the story of your life according to you. So that's one way. And if there's those of you out there that want private sessions with me, you can email me at radio@KorneliaStephanie.com, and I would be happy to offer you a free 15-20-minute consultation to see where you're at in your life. And I also have a free ebook that I'd like to offer you at radio@KorneliaStephanie.com. You can email me there and put in the subject line ebook. And this ebook will support you in shifting and changing your relationship with money. So there is just no excuse, no reason why you can't have all the riches, from rags to riches, in your life. All you have to do is just choose. I want to thank you so much for being part of the Millionaire Imprint, for raising the vibration on the planet, for changing our financial history on the planet. And if you want to stay in touch with the newsletters and the tips and the techniques and the blessings that I send out every week, text the word Kornelia to the number 22828, and you will receive it in your inbox every single week. Thank you so much for listening and tuning into the Kornelia Stephanie Show, the Millionaire Imprint for Women, #MillionaireMeToo. See you the next time. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thanks so much for being part of Creating Wealth for All Women. Every Friday, you benefit from the experience of women who share their financial wisdom. This movement is not about accumulating wealth. It's about being paid doing what we love, being able to invest in the things women are passionate about. Our new collective story is women are powerful with money. Becoming financially literate is the key to your empowerment and financial freedom. For more information, go to KorneliaStephanie.com.